Another big truth is something I almost left out, and is really a big part. They're telling everybody to learn trades now as an alternative to college and student loan debt and all this stuff. Some people are just not fit for hands-on work and manual labor. Like, they physically can do it, but they won't do it. They don't have the mentality for it. They don't want to do it, and I call them like my cousin. He said he didn't want to do no manual labor. I called him soft. Like, they just soft. You know what I'm saying? And I'm soft a little bit too because I don't want to do it. I've done it for this 4 years, but I really want to get out because it wears down your body. What I'm saying, especially like any trade or whatever, electricians or plumbers or whatever. It's dangerous. It takes a toll on your body. You got to crawl down. You got to crouch. You land on that hard metal or steel or wood or whatever you're doing. It is physically taxing and demanding on the body. So if and then I breathe in the welding smoke. It's not good for you. They telling everybody to learn this trades, but it's not good for you. Like, a lot of it is not good for you. Can be dangerous. Um, and it's not for everybody. Everybody doesn't want to do manual labor, so everybody shouldn't do manual labor. Everybody shouldn't start a business. Everybody shouldn't go to college. Just kind of do what mostly fits you, not what you think will get you the most money. As long as it's somewhat logical and can make you somewhat some money, and you can eat and afford to live, then you should do that. Now, I'm not saying go get a degree in basket weaving and then think you're gonna spend $100,000 and think you're gonna make a whole bunch of money. No, you're gonna be poor and broke and starving. So it is physically demanding and taxing on the body, so that is something to keep in mind. But like I said, it's a good stepping stone. You do it for 4 years, and 4 years is just the minimum where you actually start making the money. Like I said, I gradually got pay raises. And I think a lot of them work like that. Gradually got pay raises after 4 years. Now I'm at my max. Excuse me. Now I'm at my max, and I can get other pay raises like outside of their apprenticeship, and then I can work a whole bunch of overtime. But within the 4 years, I was able to save money. Let's say I do another 4 years, then you just save up all this money and you do it while you're young. Let's say you start at 21 and you do it for 8 years. Now you're 29, 30. You're getting kind of old. You might want to slow down, and now you can transition that money into investments and properties and businesses and housing, or just having savings. More increased education, so that way you can get pay raises. So that way you can go to an office job, or whatever, being an inspector, something that's less physically demanding. So I didn't want to leave that part out. I almost forgot, but that is a big thing with learning trades. Some people just can't. I mean, people can do it. Some people just don't want to do it. Be about 4 years. So I actually graduated in July of 2020, but we are about to do my ceremony today. So before the ceremony, I have some time to kill, and I figured I should share my experience with you. So I feel like some of the advantages of an apprenticeship is that it gets your foot in the door for working in the real world. Unlike college they give you this degree and then they just go out there and they say, hey, find a job, but you have no real world experience. As for me, I have had hands-on time learning my trade, learning my skill in theory, and I have so in theory as in the classroom, and I have also applied that to the real world, and I have real world experience. So after 4 years, I do get this thing called a journeyman's card, and pretty much I could go anywhere in the world. So that is a pro, that you get real world applicable experience. So anywhere, I'm a welder, so if I wanted to be a welder somewhere else that pays a little bit more money or whatever, more benefits, or cross seas, I can do it anywhere in the world. And as long as I can pass a standard welding test, then I'll be fine. And I take welding tests all the time as a part of my apprenticeship, so I shouldn't have no problem passing any of the other standard welding tests. So I like that. Another thing about apprenticeships, I like the qualifications that it gives you. Like I said, I'm qualified in a couple of different welding processes, a couple of different types of metals, and those qualifications mean something when you go to other places. First is, let's say if I got a degree in welding, or even if I went to a weld school and I actually welded, that doesn't necessarily make me qualified. So these apprenticeships do allow you to get qualifications. I think we go through like AWS or whatever, American Welding Society, or whatever qualifications we have, or just the standard, my shipyard qualifications. So I like that about it. Another thing is I like to pay. A lot of people are struggling to find, high paying jobs. I'm comparing it to college a lot because those are the two biggest alternatives. You hear people say, you're moving away from college and student loan debt, so it's just like, go learn a trade. And a trade isn't for everybody, but the money is decent. So you go out there and starting off with no experience with my apprenticeship. I think most apprenticeships are like that. No experience. I started off at like 14.50, and we got $1 pay raise every 6 months. So my graduating rate, which cost of living, we get cost of living raises every year. Mind you, I'm with the government. I'm not with the private sector, so it might be a little bit different in the private sector, but they're pretty much all the same. With a trade, you can make six figures. You know what I'm saying? So at the graduating my apprenticeship, our graduating rate is like 24.50 or something like that. So to a lot of people, that's decent money. 24.50, that's 50 grand a year. And then if you work overtime, you could hit six figures. But that comes with skill. Another thing I like about apprenticeships, it gives you like some kind of skill and knowledge base. I've learned how to weld over the past 4 years that I was in the apprenticeship and the 2 years that I welded in high school at a vocational center. So I have 6 years of welding experience, and for the most part, I think for a long time, it's like riding a bike. I'll never forget how to weld, even if I'm rusty at it and I haven't done it in a while, and I need 1 or 2 weeks to fine tune my skills. It's a skill and ability that nobody can take away from me, and it's actually useful, and you can use it in society. So I like apprenticeships because usually apprenticeships are more applicable to, let's say, production in the real world and the physical, not just like book and desk work. Because some skills out there, or trades, college majors or whatever, some of them are more useful. Like, you just got to be honest, even if the pay doesn't match up for what you think you should be getting. Some skills are more useful than others. So usually apprenticeships, they teach you useful skills. The apprenticeship I had, they had insulators, pipe fitters, ship fitters. What else? We didn't have plumbers, but they have plumbing apprenticeships, electrical, things like that. So those are the good things about apprenticeships. Like I said, and then it made me money, so it afforded me the money to be able to buy my house. I did this straight out of high school, did it for 2 years, and after you have 2 years of work experience, you save up a little down payment. Most places you can qualify for a mortgage if you haven't messed up your credit or bought a big truck like everybody here does. So it's awarded me that, and just I got money, so I can hang out and do stuff with friends and stuff like that, friends and family, and I've made money that way. A con of an apprenticeship, I would say, is just not being able to have that college experience. It's all about what you want, but if you can go to college for free through scholarships, or somebody's paying it, or grants or whatever, you can go to college completely debt free, or working through it. I do advocate for going to college debt free. What I do not like is when you come out and you have a whole bunch of student loan debt, even if it's like 20 or 30 or 40,000. Like, that doesn't sit too well with me, and that's not what I want to do. Now, if you come out with 40,000, but you got a good major that's in high demand, and you just go ahead and pay it right back off, that's good. But go through an apprenticeship, I did miss that college experience, just being around other young people, pledging sports, partying and stuff like that. Did a little bit of partying and clubbing, but not too much as I imagined that it would be in college. But I've never really been a full-time on-campus college student at a four-year university. One of the other cons is, like, you just got to grow up a little bit faster. You have to, deal with bosses and people you work with. But I mean, whether you do it at 18 or 20 or whenever you start your apprenticeship, or you do it at 22 or 23 when you graduate high school, you're gonna have to do it eventually. But that is a con. The work that I do, I don't necessarily think that it is meaningful work. It is meaningful work out there for apprenticeships and apprenticeship programs. Like, I don't. It is meaningful work because, like, we work for the military, but I just think I'm so far removed from the action, and I don't really get to see the fruits of my labor. I don't know. The benefits are so far removed that I don't necessarily like it. Versus if I was like hands on, like a guidance counselor, I can see the people that I help. If I was a business owner. If I was a guidance counselor, business owner, you kind of see and interact and, with the customer. I kind of like more stuff like that versus my apprenticeship. I'm kind of detached from the workplace. And that's not just apprenticeship. That's a lot of jobs in general. But that is a con for me. Another benefit I would say is just being able to work around a diverse group of people. A lot of people say that's a benefit from college, but in college, you are diverse around like backgrounds and where people come from and ethnicities and races and cultures, but you're not really diverse in age. Y'all kind of all are trapped into this echo chamber of, you know, youthfulness, and other than like you maybe your professors, but y'all are all trapped into each other. And versus like me, I feel like in my apprenticeship, I worked at the shipyard and I got to know a range of different people from 18, I got to know 18, 19, 20 year olds like me, young people like me, and then I got to know 30, 40, 50, 60 years old that was spitting knowledge, spitting wisdom, grown folks out there with different minds, different philosophies, different backgrounds, people that grew up poor, people that grew up rich, people who had money, people who messed up money. I got to know people who went to college. I know a lot of people at my apprenticeship, they have bachelor's degrees, master's degrees. They cannot find a job in their field. So guess what they ended up doing? They ended up making the same money as an 18-year-old coming straight out of high school. And, that's nothing, not trying to sound bad about it, but that's how they put it. They're like, man, I can't believe I'm 30 years old and I got this degree, or I'm 28, 29, 32, 36, and I'm making the same much as you. So that's what they would say. So a lot of them that I talked to, maybe just one person said they regretted going to school. A lot of them said they wouldn't take it away for nothing, even with all the student loan debt, even with the amount of years that they felt like they wasted in this corporate America society or whatever society. They said they like their apprenticeship, they love it, and they'll stick with it and they'll move up. So that has been my apprenticeship journey, and like I said, it was a lot of hard work, and it teaches you the value of hard work. A lot of long hours, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week type shifts. That's that can be hard and taxing on the body. But the thing is, I depend on myself. If I don't go to work, I don't get paid type thing. So that is a valuable lesson to learn. Like I said, I didn't do too much partying and clubbing. If my friends were in town or girls that I met in in my city or whatever, I might go out with them or hang out, or stay out to 3 o'clock in the morning, come to work, sit in the parking lot, fall asleep, and then be back up at 7 and go to work. I used to do that. Don't really do that no more. But it's all about balance, and it's all about who you are as a person. But an apprenticeship is a good alternative if you just don't want to go to college. Don't let nobody pressure you into going to college. If you don't want to go, then don't go. Or if you want to go 4 years later after you finish your apprenticeship, or 6 years later, you want to save up the money and save up the dough. Me just being so young, staying with my parents, and then with the way I have my house set up, I saved so much money that I could go to college and pay for a public university cash, not private, but just a regular public college. I could have done that if I wanted to. There's nothing wrong with going to college, starting it at 24, 25, 26. So I think we kind of have this life thing backwards as far as um college is oversaturated, or back in the day, everybody go to college, go to college. Now college is oversaturated. Oh, everybody go to a trade, go to a trade. Then trades get oversaturated and nobody's going to college. Like, you just do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go to college and you think that you can make some money from it, and you think it'll be valuable in your life, even if you don't make no money from it, if that's the decision you made, then just make that fully prepared and knowing, and being knowledgeable of what you're doing. So I hope this video clarified a little bit. If you had any questions more about my apprenticeship experience, or more specific questions, just comment down below. I'll do a follow-up video to elaborate. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and showing love. I appreciate it. Thank you.